typically, recessions or any untoward event is basically, it catches people by surprise. That's why you see so much carnage happening. Because if it wasn't a surprise, then everybody would be prepared for the bad times happening. So this is a weird recession in the sense that number one, it's not a financially induced recession. This wasn't a result of some credit bubble popping or some egregious financial things. This is a non-financial event leading to at least what seems right now to be somewhat of a temporary recession. Number one. Number two, people have been banking on this recession happening, and not just say very sophisticated people, but pretty much everybody and their mom has been banking on this supposed recession happening for the past so many years. So everybody, in a way, has been preparing for this. Now, some have prepared better, some have prepared worse, and some people, even with all their preparation, couldn't do anything because they bought at such highly inflated prices. But that being said, this is not a credit-induced typical economic recession. This is not a recession because people did egregious financial stuff, apart from, isolated pockets here and there. So that's why when people say, oh, this is a recession, we should look at the past, I think a lot of the past models don't necessarily apply because this isn't necessarily a financial recession. So what we have to use is a combination of the past, but also use our brains to understand that we're in somewhat of uncharted territory. Number one. Number two, with regards to multifamily, what we're seeing right now is everybody thought collections essentially would fall off a cliff. So far, they haven't. That's been because of a combination of the government stimulus checks coming, but also because the last two things people typically stop paying their money on is food, then followed by rent. So multifamily in isolation, by the way, has been very strong compared to a lot of other real estate verticals like office, retail. But when you combine this with the fact that people so far, as an example on our properties, we have 95, 96+% collections. So far, it's been very strong. Now, some can argue it's artificially inflated because of the government giving stimulus checks. What we have seen so far is that stimulus checks are playing some portion into this, but they are not accounting for the vast majority of, the payments that are happening, because you must know that right now, in most jurisdictions, you can't legally evict people. So even if they don't pay their rents, you can't just evict people because the court systems are typically closed, or they're backed up, or the jurisdiction says you just can't do it. And even knowing all of this information, people are continuing to pay their rent, because a lot of folks in the types of tenants that we have, these are basically people who are on the cusp or are white collar professionals. They have the ability, technology now, to work from home. A lot of them have some level of savings built in. So this is contributing to us getting our money and having very strong collections. With regards to a recession, so far events are pointing to a slowdown in economic activity, but these economic activities aren't directly one-for-one affecting the multifamily industry.